We try to make ourselves look big, try to talk others down, and sometimes gain some respect aggressively, some godlike reverence to ourselves.
Very common theme in this place.
I haven't seen you guys in a while.
I know.
You know, we skipped a
Yeah, I
couple of
haven't seen
filmings.
Not
We
a
had
couple.
of guests.
It's 4.
Oh, I didn't know.
Not to be exact or anything.
SP's keeping count over there.
Hey, I miss y'all. I miss y'all.
I miss y'all too,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We
man.
miss the people watching as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, we
I
missed
love doing
everybody.
this.
The whole. We missed
I
the
love
process.
it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
missed the process.
I do miss the process, and I noticed since we've been gone, both of y'all been lifting weights, and I haven't been lifting enough weights. So it's like y'all took.
Yeah, like 4 weeks ago, I was in the middle of a break. I was taking a month off.
Oh, really?
So I
like-
picked up in the middle of us being missed.
Okay.
I always take every so often. I take like just a month off, like let my body rest.
Sabbatical.
Yeah, I
But you
took
didn't
I
this
took
month.
some
You
back.
you actually like lifted weights
Oh,
a
I've been
month off.
lifting now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once my month was off,
Yeah.
I got back right back.
Oh, you
to
got
it.
back on it? Okay.
I need it. It's therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Real leaders rest.
Yeah, but you got the good genes though. You don't really need to lift. You stay shredded.
Yeah,
Shredded
on
like
now.
lettuce.
he's got the foundation from back
Exactly.
in the day when he used
Yeah.
Back in the.
I don't really have those good genes. I got to stay on it.
to banging and clanking those,
Yeah, buddy.
banging and clanking that steel.
The brothers of iron.
Come on now, clanging and banging.
You know what?
So leadership.
The closer I get to my birthday, I like telling people that I'm almost 40.
You're young.
I know,
You're young,
but I'm enjoying it.
How old are you? Like,
39,
yeah.
almost. So I'm 38.
But so now, so are you gonna reach your retirement at 40? Like you said, you want to
I
retire
hope
at
so.
40?
That would be nice. Maybe I can just focus a year on just getting swole.
Take some time off. And what are you doing? I'm just getting swallowed this
I'm just
year.
getting swole because I'm selfless.
Hey, just take the Space Jam juice. That's all you need.
I'm selflessly swole. I'm just doing that. I'm just trying to protect my kids.
Come on now.
Why did you get to 240? I'm just trying to protect my kids.
I'm trying to be a servant.
Because I'm selfless.
Yeah. Now that's therapeutic for me, man. I have to.
What's a lifestyle? I've been doing it ever since sports, so I need that.
My
Like,
mental state is completely different when I'm working out versus when I'm not.
You know, in a way, though, this is working out as well because we talk about how we miss each other and stuff. We also miss the mental workout.
Yeah. You're
Oh, yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly, because how many people do you interact with where you get to talk to them in the way that we do?
I know. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, this allows me to, like, pour into y'all, but y'all are
Yeah.
pouring into me as just as much as I'm pouring
Yeah.
into y'all. And
Yeah,
I
man.
need that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Time away,
yeah.
brotherhood, community, iron sharpens iron, like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talk about. Like, this is needed.
Yeah, we, just like y'all,
Yeah.
also have to do the same stuff we're doing. We get together for a purpose.
Yeah.
We're all leaders in our own sphere, and we're here to discuss things that can uplift and rescue people. Right?
Right. Yeah.
So today we're talking about leadership.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the topic is, are you leading or are you just loud? This is a resounding topic that, really can echo into any part of your life, whether you're the guy that leads your family, whether you're the guy that leads your friendship circle, you're the guy that leads in work, or you're the guy that leads at church, whatever it may be. There's different ways to lead, and there's also ways not to lead. So
Explain the loud.
loud would refer to like somebody that just wants to assert their dominance.
Right.
They just want to show you, they want you to give you this idea that they're the ones in charge, even though they may not necessarily even know how to lead. They could just be trying to tell you what to do out of intimidation, or they have a control fetish or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or they lead with words, not with actions.
Oh, that's good.
You know, when you say, it's like, do what I say, not as I do type of situation. That's one of the biggest ways to lose your leadership.
Yeah.
When people catch you, quote unquote, preaching something and doing something else.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But when you walk the walk, talk the talk,
Yeah.
you can't but not be a leader. Now, what you are acting on defines true leadership. Are you
Yeah,
acting
yeah.
in a godly way, or evil way? So
Yeah, because you tell the team all the time, like, I'm never gonna tell you to do something that I wouldn't do.
exactly.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like someone that just barks orders at you and then they don't even do that. It's like, man, well, how can I like respect you
Yeah.
if you can't even
Yeah.
do what I'm doing? Like, all you want is the throne.
Yeah.
And then just bark orders. So it's beautiful to see. It's like I'll put it in sports metaphor, like coaches, like player coaches, right? They played in the NFL, and they've been through the grind, through training camp, and like been in that locker room of brotherhood. So when they're like telling when they're the head coach and they're the leader of the team, and they're telling another player like how to do something and how to act a certain way, they get more respect because they've been through the mud with them. They've been through that process, that
Yeah.
grind. They're like, all right, I trust you. Instead of like, there's other coaches like Bill Belichick or, that really they played in like high school, but then now they just went to the coaching career and like built their name up. That get respect too, but some players don't like respect a lot of coaches that hasn't really like played the game
Right.
actually.
Yeah.
And like, cause they don't, all they're talking about is this X's and O's, but they don't really know like what the mental aspect of it, like what these players go through on a day-to-day grind, So,
Yeah. Well, and that raises an interesting point. Like sports, our faith is a lot like that. It's one thing to
Right,
say,
right. Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man, I'm a Christian. Well, a lot of times the people who aren't leading with the things that they actually believe, people view them as hypocrites.
Right.
So
right,
I just happened to get into a conversation yesterday, and I was telling this guy a bunch of spiritual principles, and I just couldn't help myself but to say, hey, because I'm a follower of Jesus. Because if I tell you I'm a Christian, you're going to think I'm the guy that just says one thing and does another.
Right,
I said, I would much rather you see me by the way that I live.
Right.
Right? So that in a way is leadership. I'm not domineering and telling you this is what you have to believe, because
right.
only what I believe is right.
Yeah.
I'm just leading by showing you like this is how I live, and you see the good things that happen from it.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll want a piece of that.
Yeah. And leadership also stems from a servant's heart.
Yeah.
The Bible says you want to be first, be last. You want to be a leader, be a servant first.
Servant, yeah.
And to lead is to serve. To lead is to make people better. And like you said, a lot of people vocalize their leadership because they have a power trip, a power addiction to power. They see leadership as making somebody do what they want them to do.
Yeah.
But that's not leadership. That's dictatorship.
Right.
But a leader doesn't look to be a leader. He looks to be a servant.
Yeah.
You look to, how can I help this person? How can I be better their life, better the situation,
Yeah.
be an impact in this situation? And out of that, you become a leader because people start to gravitate to you. Like, we were talking about sales earlier, and you said you got to meet the needs
Yeah.
of the people.
Yeah.
When you start meeting needs of individuals, you become their leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know to look up to you to meet certain needs, whether it's spiritual or friends of virtue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the notes that I had underneath this topic of leading is leadership isn't about volume or dominance. It's about direction, responsibility, and sacrifice.
Right.
It's about direction, responsibility, and sacrifice. So as a leader, you do have to be able to direct, know why you're somewhere, and what you're doing there, and then know the responsibility you have to lead. And then you have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to give something up. You know, it's going to be a little painful.
Yeah. You know, the Bible says we're the leaders. We're the leader of our house. We're the head of our house.
Yeah.
Right. And I often say that a man's life, it's not his life. Like your life, it's not yours.
Yeah.
Your life belongs to your family.
Yeah.
Because everything you do, even some of the things that you think you're doing for yourself, it's the end result is to benefit your family as a whole.
Yeah.
If your wife was to come here and says, there's an emergency, I need you, guess what? You're going to leave this podcast.
Yeah.
You're going to go
Right,
tend to your
right,
family.
Yep.
But why are you a leader? Because you're serving them. You're serving your family.
Yeah.
So I always say it starts when you get married. You know, you get married, you know that you're as the head of the household, as the leader of that relationship. Your life is no longer yours. It's to make that relationship better, to be a protector, provider, a priest, and a prophet to that person. Then when you have children, it amplifies.
Yeah.
It even doubles
Right,
down.
right.
So with that mentality, the more you give, the more you become you gain leadership skills. Right.
So one of the questions tied to the leadership you're mentioning, servant leadership, really ties back to biblical leadership. And you did mention marriage. So what would it look like from the community aspect? Like we know what servant leadership looks like in your marriage, in your family. What would it look like for your community? I think this is a pretty pertinent question considering, you know, you serve in different capacities outside of your family and outside of your business. You know, you serve at church. So within your community at church, what would you say like servant leadership looks like?
It's like we started off with family and head of the household because that's a given.
Yeah.
That's a mandate leadership from God.
Yeah.
And then I think, in my opinion, this is the way I process it. Outside of the house, it depends on what my calling and what my expertise or where I think I need to be a leader in. I think biblically, we are all called to be leaders of the gospel. Which means, what does that mean? To me, it means to stand up for what is right, to stand up for godly virtues, to be an example of what Jesus is to the world, to be that leadership.
Yeah.
Career-wise or professionally, I'm not going to pretend or act or be a leader in an expertise that I have no clue in.
Yeah.
I will not hesitate to learn from somebody.
Yeah.
But if it's within my wheelhouse, if it's within my calling, there's a confidence that comes when God gives you a calling to know, like, I know what I need to do here. I know the direction. I know the vision. I know I can step into quote unquote leadership shoes and lead this group. But outside of just community or whatnot, if it's outside of the gospel, like I said, the gospel, that's a given. If that's outside of the gospel, you know, you got to have be self-aware, in my opinion, of what your expertise are and what they're not.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You got anything, SP? You good?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of been reading this book called Kingdom Man by Tony Evans.
Okay.
I kind of want to read something because you were talking about responsibility.
Yeah.
I just want to read something.
Okay.
So being a kingdom man involves exercising authority and responsibility along with wisdom and compassion. A kingdom man intentionally aligns his life, choices, thoughts, and actions under the lordship of Jesus Christ. Being a kingdom man involves more than merely a box checked on your birth certificate that indicates male. In fact, a man can actually fall into 3 categories of boxes. I call them the 3 hoods. So basically, malehood, boyhood, and manhood.
Oh, that's good.
But then he also goes in, I'm kind of like, a nation without kingdom men to lead it will succumb to many ills. As revealed in the book of Isaiah, a culture is in trouble when real men are hard to come by. O my people, their oppressors are children. A woman rule over them. O my people, those who guide you lead you astray and confess the direction of your paths. Isaiah 3:12. So basically, I just thought that was like, really good because, I've been reading Isaiah, and like men get stuck on these three hoods, boyhood, malehood, and then manhood is like the real, like the kingdom man. So I was just thinking, like, remember, I think a couple podcasts ago, I've been reading Isaiah, and God is angry with Israel and Judea, and he like insinuated, like, children are more, mature than the real men right now, and it like angered him. It's like, the adults should be more mature, and like, and they should be in that meat stage instead of like the children now are more the meat, and the adults are like the milk, And I think in this world today, that's where we fall into right now. Like the children are kind of like have more authority and responsibility than the adults because we have social media, the culture we live in, the entertainment industry. These kids are making millions, even in the sports world. And they're letting these young kids rule the world. Like these YouTubers, influencers. And stuff like, yeah.
Wow.
And so now it's like, right now, it's like, it's us right here in this room, the people in the men in the church that need to like rise up and take that, manhood back and start leading from the front instead of letting the children lead this world. You know what I mean? Because they're leading it wrong in a way.
Based on what you're saying, that is very good.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Servant leadership is key. Look at what Jesus did. He led his own crucifixion. He didn't delay it.
Yeah.
He didn't delay it.
No.
In fact, he carried his cross. He kept pushing forward. He didn't try to say, man, let me buy myself a little bit more time. He said, what did he say? He said, I'm trying to remember what he said. He said, don't let this cup pass from me or something like that.
Yeah.
But
If it's possible, take this cup away from me.
Take it away from me.
At the end of the day, like,
Just let your will be done. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I get what you're saying. The community, like being a servant in the community is so important because, like you said, first things first. Being the head of the household, you already have that responsibility. You know that's a kingdom man. Biblically, that's what a kingdom man is. But community is serving is doing this right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is your calling? But honestly, it's like we all have a calling to do this right here, the brotherhood, the Bible studies, you know what I mean? Just talking to men and then us living like Christ every single day will help, show like other men like, man, that's a look at that man, right? That's a kingdom man right there. I want to be like him.
The way I process it, and again, it's the way I personally process it. I don't seek leadership.
Right, yeah. You're not supposed to.
I think that's a given. If you go out seeking leadership, you're probably not going to attain it.
Right.
However, there's God-given leadership, like we said. Yeah. If you look in the Bible, it says you are to be the head of the household. You are to X, Y, and Z. It's a calling that God has already given you. So whether you feel like you're there or not, all you have to do is step into where God has given you and receive what he's giving you, and I fully believe that he will give you the resources.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when young men are in the process of getting married, it's like, how do I become the head of the household? I mean, you step into it. Yeah. Now, there's certain skill sets that you got to acquire, that you got to learn how to communicate with your wife. There's everything. But you are ordained by God to be a leader. So that's one thing, right?
As soon as you're born, like he's already,
And then let's just say, how do I become a leader within society or within my career?
Community.
Yeah, in the community. Okay, so I often say, and we spoke about that. I say this a lot, and I heard Coach Nick Saban say during one of the press conferences, and I use that a lot. He says, in life, you have 5 choices to be in anything that you do. You can be mediocre, less than average, average, excellent, or elite. To be excellent and elite, you have to do what other people are not willing to do. So, what do you want out of life? What do you want out of God? What do you want out of your community? What type of leader do you want to be? What type of person you want to be? What type of brother? What type of businessman do you want to be? A lot of it doesn't have to do with your capabilities. It has to do with what are you willing to do. Your capabilities only take you so far, but what are you willing to do? To be elite and excellent in anything, your relationship with your wife, relationship with God, relationship with your business partner. If you say, I don't want to average, I want to be the best that I can be in my walk with God, then the question I ask is, well, what are you willing to do for it? What are you willing to do? How far? And with leadership comes outside of what God has already ordained you, with what you're willing to do to achieve knowledge or a certain level of knowledge in a certain field. So I serve in a capacity in church that God has called me in. That doesn't automatically make me a leader, but what am I willing to do to hone my skill sets, to lead people? You know, what I'm willing to do to achieve the calling is what, in my opinion, again, this is me, and I'm probably not making any sense. What I'm willing to do is what makes me the leader.
Yeah.
Because you got to do what nobody else does, plain and simple. You got to do what society is against what society's telling you. You got to do what Disney, Hollywood, or whatever is telling you to do, because 99% of the time they're wrong.
Man, Mark chapter 10, verse 42 through 43 from the New Living Translation caps this perfectly. It brings this point home. It says, "So Jesus called them together and said, 'You know that the rulers in this world lord it over their people, and the officials flaunt their authority over those under them. But among you it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you must be the slave of everyone else. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many.'"
Yeah. Leadership comes with the responsibility. And a lot of times the responsibility can be burdensome. We spoke earlier about what makes the difference between just corporate wise or even within sports. What makes a leader more of an elite leader than somebody else, besides what are they willing to do, is how well can you handle stress. The most elite organizations in the world, they filter people out not by capabilities, but how well are they going to handle tough situations. Some of the most elite military organizations has nothing to do with your physical stuff. It's how well you handle stress. And I say that because a lot of times when you are a servant, when you are the leader of something and you're serving them, it comes with a little bit of stress. It comes with discernment, like especially in the church. Like I serve in a capacity where I thought I was doing security in the physical, but I'm actually mainly doing security in the spiritual. And some of the responsibilities that come with that, it's having discernment of when the people that I'm serving are going through tough times. And I kid you guys not, and I'm not just saying in this podcast, I've been woken up in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., where there's a burden upon me. There's a responsibility upon my shoulders that I have to pray over, but it has nothing to do with me. It's with the leadership that I'm in. And I've had multiple conversations with God trying to navigate this, asking for wisdom and whatnot. And it's the responsibility is not going to go away. So either you tell me if you can handle it, let me know. If not, I'll find somebody else.
Do you, yeah. Yeah, I want y'all's opinion on this. Do you think there's some leaders that have more authority and responsibility than others, right? But in general, like by God's design, like what is y'all's perspective? Like all men are leaders at the end of the day. They do hold a certain leadership responsibility, because because this is a biblical masculine podcast. I think we all have the leadership capabilities to lead men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to hear y'all perspective. Do you think that like you're a leader of security? You know what I mean? You're a leader in like business worlds and household as well. You have a family.
Yeah.
I have my own family too as well, and I'm a leader in other ways too. 'Cause I do Bible studies and all that.
Yeah.
But I don't hold more authority, or I don't see myself more than like when I'm doing these Bible studies than other men.
Yeah.
I try not to do that because it's like, look, I'm not perfect. We're not all perfect human
But you're
beings.
being a servant.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So I just want to hear y'all like,
Yeah.
a leadership is a kingdom man.
Well, and I was going to say, man, like I would say, even if men watching this podcast haven't had that leadership role defined, one thing that we all share, men and women, is the charge to lead the message of the gospel.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That requires you to lead in some capacity. And you may be promoted to be someone that talks about the gospel on a stage.
Right.
But, you have to focus on leading people towards God's purpose, not your own personal goals.
Yeah,
Where's your heart at the end of the
yeah.
day?
Where's
We
your
all have
heart at?
different callings, right?
Yeah.
But the gospel is something that we all share.
At the end of the day, we're trying to help people get more towards their salvation, and closer to God.
To God, yeah.
That's it.
Because
We all have our own personal calling and
Yeah,
leadership
yeah.
in certain areas.
Right.
And like I said earlier, I don't mind yielding myself to another leader in an area that I'm not familiar with.
Right.
And yes, we all have supposed to be leaders within the church and spiritually. When we're thinking about doing this podcast, during one of my prayer times, I was praying to God about this whole thing of masculine men, biblical masculine men, and He put in my heart that our church is going to acquire a new building, and He reminded and it dawned on me that historically, when societies go to war, men go to war, and women stay home. Historically, throughout the human race, when there's war, it's men that go to war, they get on their horses, they go to war, while women stay behind. And and I felt that God was putting in my heart, your church is acquiring a new building. You're essentially acquiring territory for the kingdom of God. Whenever you acquire territory from an enemy or from anywhere, it's not going to come without forces pushing you back.
Right.
So you have to go. You got to go to war. Who goes to war? Men go to war. So what you're about to do is calling men to be spiritual leaders, to quote unquote go to war.
Yeah.
To be spiritual leaders, to go to war, because we're about to take new territory. This was completely related to me, my prayer, and what leadership role am I supposed to play in this, and what am I supposed to instill into men, especially within my circle of influence, especially within my church community, and it's be spiritually ready to be a leader, to go to war, because we're about to take new territory.
Right.
And God is calling upon men to go to war.
Yeah.
And to be leaders in that aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was going to say, so there's another side, there's another lens to leadership that we didn't really discuss. We may have touched on it for a second. But it's like the cultural machismo. It's the cultural machismo. All my Spanish poppies in here
Got us
know what machismo is, but that's the other side that is of leadership, that's self-seeking. It's rooted in pride, control, and image, and it's kind of a litmus test to tell you where you're at, like if you're just doing stuff for the right reasons or not, you know.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this. We've talked about this before, at least, and we've seen people want to be servant leaders, you know, in different capacities, and then they end up going astray and wanting a bigger role.
Right.
They want more authority. They want to make more decisions, which inherently is not a bad thing. But if the motivation is just to acquire some sort of power you don't feel like you have in your personal life, whether it's in business or family, it's almost like that desire to control seeps its way into what everyone else would think is a good motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure. And that whole machismo and coincides with what you said earlier. You know, you're loud or you being a leader. Obviously, machismo, it's all loud. It's all image.
Yeah.
It's all superficial. But when the responsibility's put on their shoulders, they're the ones that fold.
Yeah.
They're the ones that cannot handle the stress, that cannot handle the responsibility. When push comes to shove, it's all image, right?
It seeks to be
because
served rather than
Those
served.
people,
Yeah, exactly. It seeks to be served rather than served.
right.
There's no servant heart in that whatsoever. It's what can I get out of this situation? Look at me.
Look at me.
Look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
you know what's funny about that too is I agree, because those type of people, they look for shortcuts to get to that mountain.
Right.
You know, the people that last and are like the real like leaders, they go through that valley. They go through the trials and tribulations. They don't look for shortcuts. And sometimes it's like that's all they have right now, to be in the valley. Like they have to get to that mountain through this way. You know, they don't have the opportunity to take a shortcut. You know, so a lot of those, you know, leaders that fall, they're not really in that valley. They haven't really withstanded you know, the hard times, you know, because they got to the mountain so fast. You know, so people like, you know, people who are strong and mature in their faith, you know, and went through the valley and stayed obedient to God and, you know, stayed faithful and surrendered. And then finally they get to the mountaintop. They're there to stay. Like they're ready for that calling. They're ready for that purpose that God put in their life, because they stayed in that valley and they stayed obedient, you know, kind of like Job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. And also the machismos, it goes right back to what are you willing to do? They weren't willing to put in the work. They weren't willing to submit themselves to God.
Right.
They weren't willing, you know. Before I was 100%, I wasn't, not that I'm perfect, but years ago, I used to enjoy to bully the bully. I was always the smaller, but I always would go into any job environment, wherever I'm at, and I would look for the loud guy. I would look for the quote-unquote bully.
Right.
And I would love, that was my favorite thing. Like, I remember, like, hey, man, would you go work on this shift? Because so-and-so, nobody can work with them. You know, everybody's scared of him or whatever. Oh, yeah, that's me. I'm your guy. And the reason I became so good at it, because I knew that once you got behind the facade, there's no foundation.
Right.
There's nothing there holding them up.
I like that.
It's all an image.
Right.
It's all an image. And at the end of the day, I knew that they would scare people away, because they weren't willing to do what you were supposed to do to be successful, to do the right thing. They weren't willing to do the hard work.
Yeah.
They would, like you said, would take shortcuts, and they would avoid the work by being loud and, oh, that's not the way you do it. So people, like, you know, so that was I love that. Oh, I love that so much. A little,
Like reminiscing on like his ice
Yeah.
cream.
It's like I would develop relationships with people that after I left them, they're like, "Man, you're the best guy I ever worked with," and I kid you not, 9 times out of 10, those guys that were the quote unquote bullies were dealing with situations during that period of time that nobody even knew. They had a lot of weight on their shoulders and they didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So they would take it out on people at work and their anger and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
But the true leader would be a servant even to those machismo dude guys.
Yeah.
Me going back, and when I found out, because there's one guy in particular that I'm thinking about, and I worked with this guy for a long time, and the dude was hard to work with, and lo and behold, I straightened him out, and we became good. I found out that he was going through a bad divorce, ugly divorce during that period of time, and me later on as a Christian, if I would be in that situation, I would be completely different. I would serve him. I would be like, hey man, what's going on? Well, and then maybe even get to a point where he would share his personal story, and I would speak life into him and actually be a true leader. Instead of just being another bully.
Right.
Just because I thought I was being the Robin Hood and the equalizer, making things right. I was actually just like him. But now looking back, man, I wished. I was like, man, I wish I could go back and talk to that guy. I wish I could redo that now that I know what I know now, and now that God has transformed my heart and changed me. That was a missed opportunity for me. That was a missed opportunity.
I had a real life experience with a corporate bully this week, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Talk about it.
me and my friend, we went to this store in the mall to go look at getting replacement lenses for some of my sunglasses. And this guy welcomes us like unnecessarily loud to the store. And it was to the point where he's like, "Hi, welcome in. How are you doing?" But it was kind of aggressive. Like,
Yeah.
"Hi?"
Yeah.
Like, "How are you doing? Are you good?" And I look at my friend. I'm like, "Man, does he want to fight us or like, what's going on?" And so we're just asking this guy questions about his product, and he goes, "There's no need for you to try to choose because I've worked here. I've been in corporate for 6 years, and I ride my bike every single day. I do this. I really do this life. I wear these glasses all the time, and I do this life. There's no need for you to try to figure out what the best is because we've got this client, this client, this client, this client, this client." He was like name dropping all these pro athletes, and I was like, "Bro, what if I respect your knowledge, but what if I don't want a blue lens? What if I just don't want it?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Fine, here's this list." And so he gives me this list. He goes, "I'll go ahead and let you look, but I'm just telling you, you really need to listen to what I'm saying because I know best in this situation." And it was to the point where it was so ridiculous. I'm like, "Do you not realize you're being really rude to me right now?"
Yeah.
And then he goes on to tell me that the store that he's normally at is the highest performing store for glasses, and there's no need for me to try to choose what glasses that I want.
Because they know better.
Because he knows better.
Clue. You have no clue.
Oh, it wasn't even a nice way. He was being
yeah,
forcefully aggressive. So he gives me this spec sheet with all these glasses, and as I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, this one blocks out the most light, which would be most effective for me because that's what I was looking for. And this one's this color. He goes, "I know what you're doing. If you would just listen to me, I'm already telling you what you need to know." And I was like, "Well, what if I just don't want that one?"
Yeah.
And then I realized what was happening. I wasn't really talking to him. I was talking to the spirit behind him.
Yeah.
And then I
Oh,
said,
that's so good.
And then I said, "So you said you like to ride bikes, right?" I said, you ride your bike so much that you said you don't even have a car. So you must ride your bike a lot." He's like, "Yeah, I ride my bike from where I live in Carrollton all the way to around the North Park area.
Like motorcycle or like
Ride a bicycle."
bicycle?
So his whole point was he likes to have the most protective glasses, and he was trying to paint this picture that because he's in corporate and he's planted in this position, this leadership position, I shouldn't question anything that he has to say because he's the most sacrificial person to be able to use these glasses. So anyways, I said, enough of the noise. Tell me what you like about riding. Tell me what you like about riding your bike.
Yeah.
Man, it's just so stress relieving for me. I said, man, that's interesting because the reason why I'm buying these glasses is because I do a sport that requires these glasses, and it's really stress relieving for me too. I said, have you ever played pickleball? He goes, nah, no. Riding bike that's for me. I said, okay, I get it. He said, I've been wearing these glasses for 20 years. And then he made a point to tell me, he's like, I'm 40 years old. I was like, oh, so we're basically like the same age then. And he was kind of surprised because he thought he was talking like a 22-year-old. Must say, felt a little complimented in that way.
Yeah.
But when I told him, I was like, I'm your age. I've been buying this product for the same amount of time as you. I just need you to help me find what I'm looking for. I need you to lead me.
Yeah.
Not assert your dominance over my
Assist
decision.
you. Yeah.
I need you to serve me.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are some operative words. So anyways, I kind of broke down that bully by being kind to him.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Do what?
And what do you do?
So what ended up happening was we started asking him more questions. He softened up, and then he started talking to us about his life and his hobbies and all this kind of stuff. Come to find out, he went to a high school down the road from the high school that I went to. Come to find out, he knows some of the people that I know. And in fact, the guy was actually pretty nice after you get past that veneer.
Yeah.
That machismo, that I know what I'm talking about. I'm the corporate person here. Here's another thing he told me. He goes, I'm the corporate archetype. I don't have kids. I don't have a family. My only motive, my only job here is to work for this sunglass company.
You know, he's got too much of his identity wrapped up in that. He's got too much of his identity wrapped up in what he does.
He's Jesus.
That's why he's so upfront and so scared to lose that. So he don't want to be in a situation where he's felt like he don't know anything, because you just took his life away.
Man, it was weird. It's almost like I stripped him of that bully.
He reminds me of a saying that I also say a lot. It's like, don't be so sure of what you want that you're not willing to take something better. He's so sure of himself that you could present him with a better option, and he wouldn't accept it because he's got it all figured out.
Right.
Yeah.
So the question, like, you could have easily told him like you're wrong. You know what I mean?
Or I want to fight you.
Well, yeah, or fight you or whatever. But he, like you said, he's so sure of himself that even like trying to like debate him, like, dude, you're wrong. This is not how you treat customers. Like this is what I want.
Right.
Like he wouldn't listen because he's like he's so wrapped in his head of this identity and this, like this is who I am and this is what's right and you're wrong. And I don't even care. So that's why I love what you did, because being a good leader and being a kingdom man, sometimes you have to take an L and be kind and just not even fight it and just let them like think they won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And let it be. I had to learn that the hard way. It's crazy because there was an instance, you guys probably talk about it offline, but, text messages and group messages and everything like that, people were they thought they thought what I said, but they already had like personal feelings of it. And they already had this mind
predisposition.
Yeah. And I didn't do nothing that they thought I did, right? I just brought up something and I was like, what is going on? And I felt like I was just getting attacked.
Yeah.
Like I did something wrong. Like you need to stop being the problem. It's like, I am not the problem.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not the problem, but I couldn't tell that to them because they already had their mind wrapped. Like they already had their mind made up about like what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
And so like I had to talk to other people because I have people that just tell me like if I'm right or wrong.
Right,
I don't have yes man in my corner.
Yeah.
So I know this certain person would tell me what's the real, if I was wrong or if I was in the right.
Right.
And he said, look, you're in the right, like you did nothing wrong, but sometimes you just have to take an L. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
have to back up and shut up and
Well,
just.
there's
and
a
just-
saying is like, pick your enemies wisely.
Yeah.
Pick your enemies wisely. And he said it. He made a good point. It's like it was just noise.
Exactly, and that's why I like.
And you know,
I'm happy, dude.
that's-
That's good, right
and
there.
that's why-
Yeah, no,
it's-
for real.
like, and I know what you're talking about, but we're making enemies out of people that didn't need to be enemies.
Yeah.
It's like nobody here are enemies. One, and then two, man, I forgot what I was gonna say. But two, it's all noise.
Yeah.
It's all noise. Focus on the signal,
Yeah.
not the noise,
Yeah.
because the noise will derail you real quick.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the price of milk in
In
China.
right. Yeah.
And you're bringing it up like it's some sort
Yep.
of international incident. I was like, it's all noise. Stop it. Get on with your life.
Yeah.
And you kind of figure that out. It's like this whole situation can get out of hand real quick.
Yeah.
'cause I'm about to,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But you're like, hey, wait a minute, this is noise.
And you know what's funny? The guy that I was with, you know who I was talking to, and you'd probably know. I've talked about him before. He's hyper aggressive, and I told him, I said, bro, I was looking at him like, why aren't you hyped right now? Because he's the one to call people out. But I'm the one that's like, dude, are you not seeing like
Yeah.
what's going on right now?
Yeah.
But anyways, he's like, yeah, I'm just not feeling the way he's treating us right now. And it's weird because he was the one that was level-headed in this situation.
Yeah.
It's almost like he got thrown off by this guy's attitude too.
Yeah.
It kind of threw him off.
He was probably shocked. I'm like,
He was shocked. I was like,
because sometimes when I'm in situations like that, I see it humorous. And I
yeah.
start laughing within myself. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, am I being recorded right now? What's going on here?
But
you did what Jesus did with the Pharisees.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, no. So I'm proud of you, man. For real.
I
Yeah.
That's a
Appreciate
good
it.
story. That's
Yeah,
a
it
really
is a
good
good
story.
story.
I think I've said this before. The Bible says, blessed is the peacemaker, for he'll inherit the kingdom of heaven. It doesn't say, blessed is the one who is more right.
That's so good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Or the guy that won the argument. Blessed
Yeah.
is the
Blessed,
guy-
it doesn't say blessed is the person. It doesn't say blessed is the one that's more right.
Right.
Yeah, and
Blessed is the peacemaker.
Yeah.
so,
Exactly.
and like I said earlier, I pick my enemies wisely. I pick my battles wisely.
Yeah.
Like this has nothing to do with me. One, I know my calling, and this is not my calling. So even though I have nothing, and two, differentiate the signal from the noise. This is all noise.
Yeah.
This is not the signal. The signal,
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
But no, that's good stuff, man. Thank you everybody for listening to us, and
Yeah.
it's not in the best of circumstances since we're in a sauna.
Yeah.
But
you
I got
know
my
what?
sweat rag right here. But you know what? We're doing the Lord's work. Yeah.
Selfless.
Selfless.
Yeah,
Selfless.
I enjoy this. When things get tough and obstacles come your way, you often wonder like, why are obstacles coming my way? And sometimes it's to hinder progress, and then sometimes an obstacle is there to propel you.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
I wasn't about to let this go. It's like always remember your why.
Yeah.
And why God is like, you remember why I called you to do that. Remember why you guys are supposed to be doing this podcast. It has nothing to do with your comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every time I do this with y'all, man, my cup gets a little fuller and fuller
Yeah.
every single time. So it's a blessing, and I'm honored to be with y'all.
Do you remember the conversation we had last week? How you were talking about the obstacle becomes the way. Remember
Yeah.
that? Okay. And remember the story I told you? And I think I haven't told you this yet, but there's this one song by Torrin Wells called "Never Lost a Battle," and at the very end of this song, he talks about how the walls of Jericho. How these people of God were told to go around the walls of Jericho, and he would fight this battle for them. And think about their position. If they're marching around this wall, they're looking at this wall as this huge obstacle. How are they supposed to get to their enemy if there's this giant wall between them? So basically, whenever God had them blow their trumpets and the walls came down, the wall became the way, because the wall had to come down in order for them to walk into the enemy's territory. So it's kind of interesting. On that note, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. We could keep going.
Good job.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Stay tuned. Like, click, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon to be notified of when we release new content, because we are releasing new content still. So thank y'all for sticking with us.
Still here.
We appreciate y'all. We in here.
We
In
ain't
there
going
like
nowhere.
swimwear.
We ain't going nowhere. Come on now.
Come on now.
We got Papa Bear, the man, the myth, the legend.
In the house.
Let's go.
Thanks, guys. God bless.
Peace.
Peace.